to episode 106 of Instant Expertise Marketing. Today, we're going to get back to the basics in an effort to give you all a little bit more clarity around all of the chaos that is AI. I'm Yvette Brown, co-founder of XPROMOS. I became an entrepreneur at 23 by starting a promotions agency with my then 29-year-old business partner, Shari Nomady. Shari and I not only use generative AI every single day, but we continue to urge all knowledge workers to prioritize upskilling on AI immediately, like your job depends on it, because it truly does.
And I'm Shari Nomady. If you've been listening for a while, you know that Yvette and I approach business from opposite ends of the spectrum, but we always come to the same conclusions on how we help our clients succeed on a regular basis. Based on the market vibe, Yvette and I felt that now is the time to step back to provide a voice of reason amidst all this chaos.
That's exactly it, Shari. On the one hand, those of you who at least are somewhat familiar with AI are talking about now agents and agentic workflows. Like that's all we hear about. That's what our feed is filled with. And you're probably also hearing about how the servers are melting at OpenAI because of the Studio Ghibli style images that everybody's creating and the action figures that everybody has been posting in the blister packs. And that's all great, but meanwhile, we have another group of people that are not quite convinced that AI is actually safe or that it can actually be useful.
And all in all, the noise is really overwhelming and really mostly unnecessary. And more importantly, it's taking away focus from the simple truths that we talk about daily. You can, and honestly, you should be using some sort of LLM on a regular basis to give you feedback every single day. That's just a hard stop, because if you're not, then you're wasting time.
And that's really kind of it, Shari. Like typical Shari, she keeps it short and sweet and to the point. For instance, we try and keep our podcast short. We want to provide you value. They're usually 15 to 20 minutes. But if that's too long for you, hot tip. You can ask AI to summarize an episode, and you could read those details in a couple of minutes if you don't want to listen to 15 to 20 minutes worth. And that, every time you do that, is going to save you 15 minutes. That's what we mean by every single thing you do with AI is going to save you time, and those little bits of time add up every single day.
Absolutely. And guys, we get it. It really can be overwhelming. The endless chatter, it's burning some of us out some before they even get started. And that's really our concern today. You really don't want to give up on this technology because it's just way too important to ignore. And it really can be simple.
Yeah, and we're really here to be the voice of reason. I had a conversation with somebody at a networking event this week that talked about how he's just like, oh, tired of hearing about AI. And, I could tell from talking to him, he wasn't really understanding what it could do for him in his business. And that made me sad. And it helped, motivate us to have this conversation today, because we really want to provide the voice of clarity. Because here's the thing, you don't need 100 different AI tools. And you don't have to evaluate every single LLM. You don't have to decide, is Claude better for me than ChatGPT? And what about Gemini and Copilot or whatever? You don't have to think about all of that. You don't have to get caught up in it. You don't have to think about agents quite yet. But what you do need to do is wrap your mind around what AI does and how it can help you.
All right. Did you notice that emphasis on you?
I hope so.
Well, that is critical lesson number one. Because the power of AI is not just that it holds this great deal of human knowledge, but that it can access it so quickly, and it connects itself to other knowledge and then it delivers it in a way that works best for you. But it does not think on its own like the robots in the apocalyptic movies that you see.
Yeah, and that's really an important point, Shari, is it's not sentient. And, we've written some blogs about this for clarity. Feel free to check those out. What the LLMs do basically is they do give you the answer with the greatest probability of accuracy based on how it interpreted the question. Mm-hmm. Now, some people say that means that all input is going to end up just being mediocre. We say, first, it depends on how you ask the question. And second, it depends on what you need. And, let me pause here to give you a quick example. Yesterday, I had to troubleshoot this stupid 35-year-old sprinkler box. And, I don't even know what it's called, but it's the sprinkler box thing because the water wasn't working right? I hate working with it. It's old. It's got dials. It's like awful. So I can never remember how to use it. So I took a picture of the unit, took my phone, clicked a picture of it. I uploaded it to ChatGPT and I said, how do I do a manual run? Because I know that's what it's called when I test out the sprinklers or whatever. Immediately, it gave me the instructions. It's like, turn the dial here, push this, do that. It's like a bunch of things that are so not intuitive because it's 35 years old. And boom, that knew exactly what to do. And I was able to complete this annoying task right away. Now, I can tell you based on previous experiences, and there's a lot of them, I can guarantee you that little activity with my AI saved me probably 20 to 30 minutes easily in trying to figure out this old-timey dial system, right? So in this case, mediocrity or the output was exactly what I needed. I wasn't, inventing some new, technological advancement. I needed to understand how to fix my sprinkler box. And you know what? It gave me that right away. Saved me time. Those are the things you need to be doing every single day. And that's what we do every day.
You're right. And, Yvette did mention, how do you ask a question? Well, we like to say it's kind of our life motto, garbage in, garbage out. And today, many people are out there touting AI as, oh, hey, look at this great content that you can get. All you got to do is tell it your industry and the product. And yeah, Yvette and I have seen some output that, it's okay. It's probably pretty bland. But if you were really to give it some more intentional context, it would turn out better. And that's really what it's all about. Include appropriate context and detailing, and the output will be much richer and much more complete.
Yeah, and to that point, the thing is that AI will use, and you can see it, it can use some best practices for giving, an email or whatever it is you need to write or and you want some help with. It absolutely can do that. And it will use these compelling hooks even. But if it doesn't have any context, it's not going to be very good. And, the point about AI is there is no manual. There is a manual for my 35-year-old sprinkler system, but, that's long gone. And, that's why I just have to use ChatGPT now.
And 500 pages long.
Right? And all I want to know is how to run a manual cycle.
Right.
So, there's no manual for AI. These generative models were released into the wild, and it's really up to all of us to figure out how to use them. And you can do that quickly, or you can do that kind of the long ploddingly way and, listen to all of this noise and waste your time on that. And we're trying to really help you avoid that.
And you guys all know that the internet boom, it gave us this proliferation of cat videos and memes, right? Oh, and so human nature is just sort of following in that same path with AI. And if that's how you're going to learn, okay, but get past that too.
Yeah, it's so true. When I think back to the days of, we had this great experience and all we got were cat memes, right? And it was just anyway.
Yeah.
And, our point with this is it's really easy to get caught up in the noise around viral AI news and the memes and the extremist positions of like, oh, we're going to have unicorn solopreneurs on every corner, or this is going to be the end of humanity, right? And what we're here to suggest is that you tune out all of those garbage signals and you focus on very simply getting your own time back with AI. That's all we're saying. That's what we want to show you how to do. And we know we're proof that you can do that.
Absolutely. It can do many things, like Yvette has said, but what we are singularly focused on right now is helping you understand how to use it so you can get your time back, period. End of story. It is do what you do faster and really most of the time even better.
Yeah. And how we do that best is with our foundational AI course. And this isn't a big sales pitch or anything like that. We feel the need to explain it because there's just so much hot garbage out there and this message is really getting lost. What our course does is it enables you and your team to focus on understanding how to talk to and how to use AI to get the work that you are yourself responsible done more effectively and efficiently. And we do that in 9 one-hour live sessions that start with this mind-blowing role plan that we work with AI to crank out for your individual job. And, you might be thinking, there's nothing about my role that's mind-blowing. But the reason it's mind-blowing is because when we run it through this GPT, it gets your job right in about 90% of the time right out of the gate. In other words, there's 64 different deliverables that are on there. And I present this all the time and people are like, yeah, that's pretty much what I do, right? And so it's kind of amazing. But when you have this, right, this place to start, you have this roadmap. And this roadmap enables you to focus, that's our word of the day, focus on your own priorities and not the priorities of clickbaity social media and talking heads who are prognosticating about the future.
Yeah.
This one's got me
We've said it
wound up.
before. Yeah, I can tell. Take that blood pressure down. So we've said this before, integrating AI is a mindset shift. And like any habit shift, it's going to take a little bit of time to build. And we want you on a pathway of sensibility that enables you to make better decisions about AI as it evolves for yourself, for your team, and for your company. So if you haven't started, just start small, but use it every day.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. The clickbaity people, the talking heads, they're making it more complicated than it needs to be. We walk you through it step by step. It's a build. And it goes from different ways that you can use the tools, like input outputs that you probably don't even know exist, to understanding how to talk to it and give context that taps you into expert frameworks. And also then outlining the steps in your own processes so you can build your own little GPTs. And what these are little repeatable things that you do regularly. And again, building your own workflow or GPT sounds scary as heck as if you've never done that. But if you think about, and this is what we show you, the steps you go through to do a task that you do, a deliverable, whether you're creating a report or you're creating an output or you have to do, something else, the steps you have to go through. If you can write those down, you can then see how you can assign each one to AI and see how it can help just do that step faster and easier. And every time you do that little step and you connect them together, congratulations, you've got a GPT. And when you have that, all of a sudden that annoying task that took you an hour or 4 hours or 6 hours, you can do in less than half the time. And it sounds crazy, but it's true. And that's really what we want to show you. And, so that being said, no matter the resource, you really need to get started and get serious about AI. Even if you're dabbling, it's not good enough. You need to understand the big picture, foundational understanding of AI, because the models are changing so fast. They continue to come. You don't want to be left behind because, as they say, time really is of the essence.
And we'd love to help you get started. So check us out at xpromos.com/AI, or you can also find us on LinkedIn.
And that, my friends, is all we have for today. We thank you, as always, for listening in. We hope you like and subscribe to stay on top of real ways that you can upskill with AI and cut through the clutter. We will see you